Hello everybody, hey, it's Ken Faulkner with another knife video, and I'm here to tell you what kind of knife channel this is that I've been doing for. I look back at my first video. It was 2 years and 4 months, pretty much right there. It's been a long journey. I got into this thing I did my first video and I had no idea if I was going to do more. And I never really thought about it. But I guess I kind of expected that I was going to be some certain channel. I had something in mind. And I think I just saw what everybody else was doing and I thought that's what I would do. And it would just kind of magically appear and everything would work out. Or I would just stop doing them because, I just don't feel like doing it. Obviously, that wasn't the case because it's been over 2 years now. I'm over 60 years old, so it's not like a large part of my life. But I hardly even remember not doing the knife channel. This case I had as the only case I had when I first started doing this channel, and that amazes me because now I'm up to 3. And they're pretty full, all of them. And so it just amazes me. And now having a knife channel probably has influenced me. I would say that my channel is more about what I like in knives and what I like about it collecting. You can see this case is not looking totally neat and orderly. It's kind of like crazy down here, which goes to show that I have learned a lot over the years of this type of collecting. I mean, I had knives, from when I was younger. We talked about this before if you've been around. But anyway, and some of these are fairly new. This is like one of my most recent knives I have here. So it's not like these are all old knives. And I'll kind of explain that as I go. But just getting back to the channel thing, yeah, I mean, this is, I had less than this amount, I believe, when I first started the channel. And now I have 3 cases and they're mostly full. And I've branched out into other cases and other places to store knives because I have like drawers with knives in them. I have some just kind of sitting over here on a coffee table next to the couch here, because I'm sitting on the couch in my living room. And that kind of like reflects my channel. It's very casual. I think, this is my opinion, obviously, as all channels are always, whoever's doing it, their opinion. But yeah, very casual, very much think of these things. I thought of this video probably last night. Woke up in the middle of the night and thought about it. Thought, that might be a cool thing to do for a video. And I got my neighbors starting up the cars. Sorry, guys. They'll be out of here soon. That's another thing. I'm just in my living room, and I got some windows open, and I got neighbors pretty close by. So you hear noises, sirens going on. My cat will jump on the table. Very rare. My cat's usually, in the other room. But anyway, that kind of stuff. And I'm fine with that. I mean, because it's not a polished thing at all here. Not polished. I've said before that I'm like one of the laziest knife YouTubers there are. Probably not the laziest. I mean, because I am putting out decent quantity of videos. Majority of days during the week, I'm putting stuff out. But that it hasn't always been that way, but it's kind of evolved that way. And I wouldn't do it if I didn't like it. I wouldn't, if I felt like it was a chore or a job, or I'm going, man, I really just don't want to do a video. There's days like that and I don't do a video, and it happens. Or there's days where I say, I don't really want to do a video. But in reality, I know that if I do a video, I'm going to be in a much better mood when I'm done. And that's probably 90% of the time. Knife collecting for me has been kind of a stress relief. It's a way for me to deal with just how hard it is, how hard life can be sometimes. I mean, we know a lot of people dealing with mental issues, depression, anxiety, all these kind of things, and knives for me helps me to kind of fight that stuff off. You know, I don't feel like I've had serious problems with it, but then definitely have felt days when I just unhappy with my life in over the 60 plus years. On and off. Certainly you've gone through some very hard times and things like that, but knife collecting really does help me. And hopefully there are some of you out there that have that feeling too. Certainly being part of the knife community, and I've talked about this quite a bit, also does help. Certainly if you like knives and you're, I can't speak for other places in the country, but certainly where I live, most people aren't carrying pocket knives. They really aren't. There are a few, and we'll kind of gather together and talk about things in hushed tones, so those other non-knife people don't hear us. Not really, but this community gives me and others an opportunity to share our passion, our love for collecting these beautiful objects, and also to collaborate and kind of network with people, so you can find out about knives. I mean, some of these knives, if I didn't, have Knife YouTube and the and the community, I probably wouldn't know about Tempest knives. I wouldn't know about Devo knives. I wouldn't know about so many. I mean, I might know about, just from going to like Blade HQ or whatever, I might know about Civivis. I might know about Kershaw's, that sort of thing. But there's going to be quite a few that I wouldn't know anything about. And and plus being able to see them on YouTube, and I hope that I'm giving that opportunity to a lot of people, because I am very thankful for the opportunity to see these knives and have people talk about them and what they like about them, what they don't like about them, size comparisons, things like that, see how it fits in the hand, learn about materials, learn about blade shapes, that kind of thing. It's just been a great opportunity for me. Clearly this is something that I love, and I would love at whatever level I end up getting to, and at every level that I've been through as I collect knives. I love it, and maybe even more all the time. And certainly with having this channel, it has increased, if not my love for knives, my collecting and my number of knives that I've purchased or found out about, for that matter. So anyway, that is kind of all this stuff I'm talking about. The experience of it all is kind of what this channel is about. I saw this knife on Blade Walker's channel, and then I saw it some other places, but that was the first place I saw it. And it wasn't necessarily this one. I don't think he had the copper one, but it's a personal preference for me to have like a heavier knife. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. That's going to be a heavy knife. I don't want everything to be this heavy, but I did want to have this knife. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on. And then I learned about knives that are way more expensive than I'd ever want to pay. And then after a while, I get closer to it, and eventually I end up with some of these knives in my collection. Now this is the budget case, probably for obvious reasons. I definitely put all these cool stickers on it and really loved it. I mean, that was kind of part of the new. You're going to see some of the other cases, but they don't really have them. Like here, this was kind of a failure. I put it on. The problem with these Apache cases is that as far as stickers are concerned, you only have a certain size that you can fit certain areas. And I was really trying to cover this thing, but then it got frustrating because, you know, how many of these little Spyderco stickers do you want to have all over? And then other ones you could like wrap around here, you can see, and then go over these humps. And some work, and then some clearly do not. You got this one little spot. I had to take off like some stuff that came with it when I bought it in order to put stuff on here. So anyway, we're moving on to the next case. Hang on, I got a second. So as the collection grew and I bought more, I had to get more cases. And you can see I don't have any stickers on this one. I don't know for sure that that's the way it's always going to stay. It's basically the same case as the other one, but it's newer. It's harder to unclip the latches. And the foam on here doesn't stay in there. I keep telling myself I need to put double-sided tape on it, and that way I don't have to lift it up every single time. And then over time, as I dealt with more, more knives, I noticed that I was collecting larger amounts of certain brands. So, sorry, that's part of the casual thing. Got to grab some water, clear my throat, because this might go a little long. So what I ended up doing is I said, well, in this case, I'm gonna, for one thing, this is about the point where I started making my spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet's in Excel. If you don't know about Excel, it's really designed to put in data, a bunch of data. I'm an engineer, so I'd use it at work, and therefore that was what I do. That's the kind of thing. I make schedules. I do all kinds of stuff where I'm collecting information, doing calculations in there. It does all kinds of stuff. So I started putting it in there, and then I started, I could sort things, or I can filter things out and say, just tell me how many artisan cutlery knives I have, and just show me those, and then I can count them up, and I can highlight one of the columns and see how many there are. And then I picked the ones with the most in one brand, and I end up putting it in this case. So up at the top here, we got our Kaisers. Well, actually, up at the top. Now, if you get one of these cases, some of the things that I learned, and you can see that this one is definitely in better shape than the other one, not nearly as tore up. But what you'll find, if you're like me, you like bigger knives, you end up having bigger slots and smaller slots. So what I ended up doing was I put like smaller ones, and if they're ones that don't fit in the smaller slots, so all these are smaller, I put them up in that top row. So now I got Spydercos. So Spydercos, I did that video not long ago telling you that that's the most, I have more Spydercos than any other brand. And so they're at the top here. That's the most. And I went all the way across. My Paramilitary 2 is out of the case, and I end up putting it back in there. And this helps me to know where to find. If I know I'm looking for a Spyderco, I know I look at this case, and I know that they're going to be all grouped together. Makes it a little easier. So we got the Annex 2 here. You got all the different ones. And I don't think there's any of the large Spydercos up here, although there should be a Yojimbo. I wonder what I did with that guy. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it's around there somewhere. It's probably been out, carried recently. Regardless of that, Spydercos, then the Kershaws, and the Civivis, and then the Artisan Cutleries. I got some Tucson's over here. I got some CJRBs, that kind of thing. So, and then I got the Sencuts over here. So they're kind of grouped together. So I started, as my collection grew, I started organizing them. And then I started doing like collection videos where I do, I was able to do a full collection video. I think I did one. I kind of covered this whole table that I have here. And I think I did a whole collection video in probably over an hour. But that was how many knives I had at that time. But then, you know, obviously this is the second case and I got a third one and I got overflow. So I just can't do a 2-hour, 2.5-hour video, especially how much I talk about my knives. So, oh yeah, cold steel's up here too. Some cold steels up here. Anyway, so that is part of the progression of my collecting. And so if you've been following me, and I know some of you have been around since the early days, you've probably noticed a change. Like I talked about, there's certain brands that I never had before that all of a sudden now I'm able to afford. More so, I mean, you know, more so because I'm more comfortable with spending that much money. And I know how much I enjoy it. I know the value I have for knives. And I try to share that with you guys. I know that not all of you can buy some of the knives that I have. But at the same time, and it's not really so much for the channel, but it's me, I do buy some budget knives as well. Things that particularly stand out to me, but they're not as many. Speaking of the first video, this is the knife from the first video. That's that Towser K. And that was in the original case before, and now it's moved into this second one. And so anyway, just because, you know, I like slip joints, say, maybe all of you don't like slip joints. In fact, I know for a fact there's some people that just don't collect slip joints or don't buy slip joints, don't carry them. But I do, and so they end up creeping into the videos on this channel. And so, you know, I know that not everybody's going to like every video or be interested, but then a lot of people who don't collect slip joints still like to see those videos. I know I did before I was really getting into them. I mean, it was really Jack Wolf. These are all down in the drawer down here, but the Jack Wolf, you know, so this is like overflow. They really caught my attention from my first blade show that I went to, and that kind of broke open this other set. I mean, I'd had, like, you know, Swiss Army knives and little folders like that when I was younger, but I really wasn't into them. But then I got more into them. So that's it. I mean, I'm not doing any of this stuff specifically for the channel, because the channel is specifically my collecting and what I do, what I like to collect, and sharing it with you guys. And, you know, so there's going to be some things that you're not as interested in. There's going to be things that, you know, I wouldn't carry, and I get the comments, and I love to hear those comments. I like to hear, because I know we all have different opinions. And, you know, another thing I hope comes across with my channel is that I am very accepting of other people's likes and dislikes. I mean, if you like Civivi Elementum, I got this earlier on. It's not as interesting to me now, but it was a gift from my girlfriend, for one thing, and I will carry it, but it's not, you know, doesn't quite have the excitement of, say, there's the Yojimbo. The Yojimbo. It's funny how you know, a knife could be, and also the way that this is laid out, the storage, it can be difficult. Sometimes I kind of wish that I had like a big old tool chest and had them all laid out so I could see them like this, everything laid there. And I'd organize them, of course. I'd put them in groups and all that kind of stuff, but then I could see them every time. But then sometimes it's just kind of a challenge when you're looking for a certain knife and you're going, wait a minute, is this it? Is this it? Man, I can't tell you how many times I've felt like I went through every knife in a case, and I know it's in here somewhere, and I'm doing this for a half hour. Anyway, this is about the channel, but it is about me. My name is on it. That's who I am. That's the name I was given at birth. Actually, I'm Kenneth, but I've actually changed it to Ken on my driver's license and everything, because this is the name I like. But then when I went and got my real ID, you know how everybody has to have their real ID. Fortunately, I got it few months. I put it off, but I got it eventually, and they made me go back to my what was on my birth certificate. So now I'm Kenneth again on my, at least on my driver's license. Anyway, side note, but that's my name, and I thought, oh, I should change the channel name, and what, you know, try this. And my girlfriend's coming up with ideas and all this kind of thing. And I go, no. But it's kind of reflection. I mean, this is me. This is who I am. It's not about some crazy name. You know, I was gonna say Chaos Knife Life or something like that. Come up with something like that. You know, and I could, and it's hard for me to pick one though. That's the problem. But I could. But at this point, it kind of feels like it's more appropriate just to be my name, because that's what I'm doing. I'm just showing you my knives, Ken Faulkner. And I got another knife video for you of the latest thing I bought, or let's go back into the collection, or let's talk about stuff. Let's talk about my channel and what the heck's going on here. Certainly not polished. I keep telling myself I have to learn how to edit. I still don't edit. I do pause. That's as close as I've gotten. But at the beginning, I wasn't even doing that. So, yeah, this is that big old heavy brass. I think it was the Knife Center exclusive of the Proponent. Man, this is a brute. And, you know, those that have been watching, you know, can look at that knife and say, yeah, that looks like a Ken knife, Ken Faulkner knife. Or as Bees would say, Ken Faulkner. And I love it. When you guys put that in the comments, man, I love being known like that. It's like, that's almost like my channel name would be that, because, you know, a lot of you know me from Bees' Lives. And that's the way he likes to refer to me. And I love it. Love it. It's fun. Super fun. So, all right. So we're going on and on and on, but I mean, I think you're kind of getting the idea that it's about me collecting, and then you get this period of time like right now, and we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do that pause thing that I do, and I'm gonna move on to the next case. So as I've moved on with cases, I kind of realized that how important it is for me, and I have them in different groupings. I noticed how important it was for me to have being able to identify each case, and having a different color really helped that out. I think I got to get another one after this blade show, because you'll see this is pretty maxed out, and I'll probably get the brown one next if I can get it, or maybe orange or something. I don't know, but you know, or I'll put stickers or something that will identify them. So the first case was my budget knives, and that was everything below a certain amount. And the way I figure that amount is by putting all my expensive ones in here. I do have the vault case, and we've seen the vault case with the Faulkner 5, and that's the most premium knives, except for the Rockstead, which has its own box. So there's always except fors. And obviously I don't have any slip joints in here. They're all folders. But yeah, I just filled up all these spots with... Ooh, bad Ken. Gotta clean that guy. I'm gonna put that over the side so I can get that cleaned. I fill this up with as many of my more expensive knives, and then whatever the last one is where it changes. Chris, if you're looking, if you're watching, my friend, Unprofessional Dad, my Deca. I just saw your other video with the Deca. These OG scales, you know, obviously it's just a recommendation. Makes all the difference. Okay, enough of that. So, yeah, I fill it all up with the most expensive to the least expensive that will fit on this case, and then everything below that is either in the budget case, and obviously you subtract out the ones from the multiple, from the brands that I have a lot of. I know it's a little confusing, but I at least understand it, which is important and good. I'm not sure if this is the right spot. Sometimes they get mixed up. But anyway, so here we're getting into the stuff like when I first started the channel, some of these knives. Now this one I did have. This is one I got pretty early on. I really like this one. I remember everybody was raging about this one because it was Kubi which is normally a budget brand, but they had all this titanium and stuff like that. And this guy named Jerry Jelly, or Jelly Jerry, sorry, that designed it. Anyway, very cool. You know, Microtech, I didn't have any Microtechs back in when I first started the channel, but now I have 4 of them. So, you know, I have progressed, and I definitely am buying more expensive knives, and I end up filling this case and bumping. So the Deco, probably by the time I get back from Blade Show, this guy will no longer be in this case. It gets bumped. But then I got to figure out what I'm going to get a new case. What is going to be the category for that one? So that's part of the whole adventure. It's an adventure. I always say this, and especially like I before I started the channel, I'd never been to a Blade Show. It was fortunate because I watched them. I watched all of it, and I just died. I died inside that I couldn't be there with all those people that are going around and interviewing the makers and seeing everybody looking at knives. And then they decided to move Blade Show West from Oregon down to Long Beach. And I'm going, oh my gosh, that is amazing. That is like a few miles from me here. I just get on the freeway, you know, of course, California freeways. It's not just getting on the freeway around here. It's, but anyway, I went over, I you know, went to both days of it. I loved it, and the rest is history. And then I finally got to Atlanta, all that stuff. Oh man. So that's like, it's part of the adventure, part of the progression. And, you know, if you continue to watch the channel, there it is, RS Chaos. You can continue watching the channel, you're going to see more progression. And I'm going to continue to be changing. It could come to the point where, you know, I retire maybe from work and I have to slow down and reduce my buying. You know, either less knives or get more budget knives. Or, like I've been talking about forever, it's the other thing about my channel. As I talk about stuff, I intend on doing stuff, and some of the stuff just doesn't happen. Like being able to flick this knife from that hole does not happen. I've talked about that before. But anyway. So yeah, so there may be something like that where things change up because my revenue stream coming in for the channel or something happens. Or I move out of California and all of a sudden I'm so wealthy because I'm not paying so much for gas and rent every month. Not that I'm bitter. Well, maybe a little bit. But, you know, my work's here. And they pay me well. Obviously, I wouldn't be, you know, sporting big old monster cool knives like this if I wasn't getting some good money. Because I do pay off my credit cards. But I have to tell you, I went to pay off my credit cards today. It was so easy because I haven't been buying knives. But I also have been, okay, I have to, I know a lot of people are doing awesome and they've quit drinking. I have slowed way down and I'm doing pretty good. And I think that knives have helped that. Because I don't come home from work and pour a drink. What I do is I come home from work, I watch some knife YouTube, and then most days I'm doing a video. And after the video, I pour myself a drink. But it's a whiskey. I love whiskey. I drink it neat. I love it. And normally, it's like 1 per day. One little nice little glass of whiskey, and that's all I need. Lately, because I feel it's because I haven't been buying new knives. It's been like 2 or 2.5. So that's something I'm kind of looking forward to reducing as I get back from Blade Show and I have all these new knives and all that. I won't be buying after. Well, I'm gonna spend everything that I saved, not buying, and maybe even then some. And then I will have new knives for quite a while, and I still won't be buying knives. until I kind of go through all those and maybe do videos for all of them, and you know, then I'll be buying new knives, and I'll be waiting for those packages. My doorstep has been package free so much more. I mean, you still buy stuff from Amazon or whatever, but it's not like on a daily basis. Well, maybe not daily basis, but definitely a lot more packages were coming in when I was buying knives. So anyway, I think I've gone on 30 minutes. That's kind of like my long video now, and it's almost like a natural thing because I used to kind of probably do a lot more. And then I talk about stopping, and then I go on for a while. But I think I've gotten my point across. I guess I could run through the whole subs thing. I talked about that before. You know, subscribers, I had like 700 something on my old channel. And if you want to see my old channel, it's still there. This is Ken Faulkner, and in parentheses it says old channel. How inventive am I? I am so clever that I came up with that name. So anyway, and that's how I found out how long I've been doing YouTube, because I searched it rather than switching back and forth, because then I switched back and forth recently and I ended up uploading a video on there because I forgot to switch back. I'm so disorganized and yet organized at the same time. That's a cool knife. So anyway, you know, if you ever want to go back, you can look at the old channel. But it had 700 subs. And I was getting shouted out by quite a few people back then. But then it kind of slows down as you become more of a regular, you know, you've been around for a while. And then I got the second channel, and I said, oh my gosh. And I started doing like videos every day, trying to catch up. And it came up pretty good. And I'm a 600 something now. But I've gotten stagnant. I'm like stuck at a little spot. And I know... and maybe part of it is not buying the new knives, but after Blade Show, I'm thinking that I'll get a little boost, and I'll probably get up maybe past the 700 and continue moving on. And maybe someday I'll get to 1,000. I know that's a big number, and I will enjoy it if and when it happens. But it's not really. I'm not doing anything on my channel. I mean, other than the fact that I started doing videos every night for a while, and I've kind of scaled back, especially lately, since I don't have the new knives. I did that for a while just to boost it up, but I enjoyed it. I really liked it, and I've kind of gotten into a habit of being able to do it, and it's just a matter of habits. Like if I ever start, I think that, because I do computers for a living, I do CAD 3D stuff, and I think that if I start doing editing and figure it out and learn how to do it and start getting into more things, I might go crazy with it and spend a bunch of time with it, but I don't know if I'll ever get there. But if I do, there's a good chance that I'll just like explode and do all kinds of cool stuff. There's a good chance. Stickers is another thing. You know, I got this great idea. Actually, I got a drawing of a model of a knife that I've made on the CAD, and I figured that'd be great because, you know, that's not somebody else's artwork. It's me. I made it, but then I feel like I need to develop the knife that I have on there a little bit more, and then that will be the basis for my logo, and then maybe stickers, you know. But you know, that'll. I think that's going to happen. I think that may be the next thing, but I don't know. I don't know really. I already looked at that knife. Here's one I haven't looked at. So anyway. There's a lot of laziness, a lot of slow moving, a lot of wanting and thinking about doing stuff and not doing it. And there's still progression, and I'm still moving and doing things. And if I ever get to 1,000, I'll be super happy. I'll do a big giveaway. Another thing, giveaways. I used to do it on you know, well, I got 100 subs, I'm going to do a giveaway. But now I just do them like about once a month, maybe once every 2 months. I love doing giveaways. I used to win a lot of giveaways. I don't know what happened. I think YouTube hates me. I think YouTube just has decided that, you know, this guy is not doing the YouTube stuff that we're trying to mold him into a YouTube mold, and he's not doing it. So we're not going to let him win any giveaways. Of course, this is a massive conspiracy theory that I came up with in my head, and it probably has nothing to do with reality, but And I'm probably messing up the order of everything, but I'll fix it later. But anyway, so I am compensating by doing giveaways for you guys. And then when you guys send me emails back saying, oh man, I love this. This is what I did. The last one was like, oh, I gave this to my cousin. I gave this one. I did this with this. And oh, I really needed one of those. That's very cool to me. So that's the giveaway stuff. It's really very fun. So yeah, all these good things that I get to enjoy. All right, now I'm going to end it. Thank you guys. I hope this was cool. I try to mix it up. I try to come up with some different ideas. I probably should do some of the other ones that were popular in the past, and I will. But, I'm always kind of floating around in space, just like when I talk. I'm just kind of floating around and talking about stuff. So I appreciate that anybody is still subbed and still watches and still comments. I am thrilled beyond belief. So thank you all. And I probably will do this for the rest of my life because I love it so much. All right. So you guys take care. Be good people. I try to be. I know I'm not perfect. I know no one is. But yeah, life is good when there's Knife YouTube. All right. You guys take care, and I'll see you on the next one.